the strangest feeling to know what to believe in. Cause every time you touch me, I can't control my body. Oh, baby, you are on my mind. All I think about, and I don't wanna stop.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Conversation with Trent and Friends, featuring the lovely Canadian Coach Dee. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. We got a good one tonight. We're talking about, are you a good friend? What about your friends? Actually, this topic comes on the heels of a conversation I had with my good friend Slash. As you guys know, the viewers know him as Slash. I know him as Mr. Mark Marine. Had a wonderful conversation with him. I got to thinking, we were shooting back and forth normally like we normally speak via text. And he sent me this video of one of my old managers, Harold from the group War. And I had no idea with this condition. I kind of forgot that I introduced him to Harold all those years ago, right? So in the text, we were talking and whatnot. So I was like, hey, man, wow. I said, man, that's Harold. And, we went talking, going back and forth. And he says, I know, you introduced me to him. And I totally did not know. I totally didn't get it, right? So he said a very profound quote. He sent the text back when I told him, hey, man, this condition is something else, man. My apologies. I totally didn't remember. So he says, and I quote him, this is Slash saying this back. Friendship is often fills in the gaps when there's longevity. Again, friendship often fills the gaps when there's longevity. So I got to thinking, I'm like, I've known this brother a very long time. Very long time. I've never had any quarrels with this brother. We've never had an argument. When I'm talking about several decades, never had one argument. He's always been the same. We've always been the same with one another. And I'm like, wow, what about your friends? Do you have these type of friends? So I'm going to dig a little deeper as the show progresses, but we'll get into it. What about your friends? Let's get Coach Dee in here. Coach Dee.
Hey, how's it going?
Can't call my spoiled. How are you today?
I'm good. I have a bit of a headache. Xavier got a new recorder,
I'm loving it.
and he's been playing it and refusing to watch YouTube videos.
I'm loving it.
He's just making up songs as he goes. So
you're going to get it. And hey, that's the best. That is the best.
He'll get it.
Make them up as they go. So
it's going to be a horrible couple of weeks till he does, but he'll get it.
It's all good. It's all good. The morning show is going to be great, though.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Good stuff. What about your friends? What about your friends? Are you a good friend? So I was talking to Slash, like I said, in the opening piece here. We had a wonderful conversation, and he don't even know, but now he knows that the topic was about our conversation a couple of evenings ago. And he sent this video like he normally do. Harold was a musician back in the day, from the group War.
Right.
And he used to manage me. That was like my first manager. And I did not remember introducing him to Harold all those years. I don't remember doing that. But that quote that he sent to me, it wasn't a quote. It was in his words.
Right.
Friendship fills the gaps of longevity. And that just struck me. And I was like, wow, to have a wonderful friend like him. And I got a couple of them. On one hand, I can tell you how many longevity friends I've had, but they've been in my life for a number of years, never switched up, always calling, making sure I'm good. especially with with the condition and whatnot, and just checking in. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, do do you check on your friends? Do you? And think about it. In today's climate, man, there's a ton of artificial stuff going on. We're all sitting in this plastic bubble, watching the superficial world pass by. But if you have a good friend, you're lucky. Like you,
Right.
we've been friends for almost 20 years.
Mhm.
I called you on a whim. To
Yeah.
be honest with you, I called you on a bet that I could get an ex to do the podcast with me.
Really?
That was
How
that
much
was that
did
was
how
between
much
Shan and I. Shan was like,
how much
"You
did
should
you
get one of your
bet?
exes." Shan, she was
How
like, "You
much
should
did
get
you
one of your
bet?
exes to come
I
on."
think
She didn't think I could do it. I don't think she thought I could do it. So I was like, I got one in mind. I know exactly who I could call. So it was
you want
actually
me some
Shan's
money?
idea to bring you onto the show, but it was a bet. It was like she was challenging me if I could get it done. But I never, and I got to be honest, I didn't tell her the extent of our friendship. Like we truly are
Yeah.
friends. So, but I mean, I called you on a bet and just picked up the phone and said, "Hey, you want to come do this podcast?" You're like, "Yeah, man. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, how many people can call their friends? Like I call Slash right now. Man, I got a technical issue here. I got this one hand, I can't get it done. Slash is here until 2 in the morning getting it done for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how many people have friends like that? How many people have non-plastic friends in their life?
I do. Well, let's get the
Comment.
viewers, readers, watchers, listeners. So we have Slash, Grand Rising Melanated People, Green Princess, Coach D, and Mr. Epic.
What up? What up?
Kathy says, "Hello, everyone. Excited to hear the conversation tonight."
Hey, hey,
Slash says,
hey,
"Good
Kathy.
evening, Miss Kathy. Good evening, Slash." Slash says, "Princess Coach D looks like the Matrix is trying to get you using CGL." Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I usually use a blur thing because I have laundry on the bed, but
Right,
I don't
right,
know
right.
what's happening today. It's like my hair is not there. I don't know what's going on. I get eaten alive by the computer.
It's all
So
good. It's all good. It's all good.
bear with
Before I
me.
forget, man, I was so excited about this topic tonight. Welcome to the B2G Unity TV network. That's Butterfly Evolution and Taylor Kennedy Media combined for better TV together. You can catch Coach D and I along with Tammy on Relationship Talk or What's Your Story on B2G Unity TV. That's on a Roku stick all over the world. You can catch us. If you're in France, you can catch us. If you're in Africa, you can catch us. Pull us up, B2G Unity TV, right there in your living room, right there in your bedroom, anywhere, anytime. Good stuff.
So I was talking to one of my old army buddies.
Uh huh.
Actually, I was talking to his wife because I actually met her on their after their first date. So I've known him since we were 18. So we're going 30 something years now.
Right, right, right,
And I was there. We were in the field, sitting on the back of a truck, waiting for his first baby to come.
right,
We've known each through all thick and thin. And we still joke, me and his wife still joke about his truck getting stolen on their first date. Like,
right,
I know that these two like the back of my hand. And I have my bestie in Cape Breton who we joke about that we're going to go to a retirement home together and raise havoc.
right.
You know? And if either one of them called me to move a body, I would, without asking a question.
There it is. And that's in today's climate, let's just be honest and fair. In today's climate, everything feels artificial,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
including relationships, and everything feels artificial. It doesn't feel real. But it was so refreshing to for Flash to send me for Slash to send me a video, and it was
Right.
my very first manager. I was like, this guy has been in my life a very long time, and
Mm-hmm.
it got me to thinking. Just that one exchange, I was like, wow, that he had to remind me that I introduced him to Harold.
Right.
I didn't remember.
Mm-hmm.
I could not remember that. But I'm like, man, to have relationships like that and cherish those relationships and friendships, like nothing about that friendship is authentic. Nothing about that friendship is artificial. It's just straight up and real.
Right.
It's just straight up and real. It's so refreshing, man. In today's climate, we all sitting in this plastic bubble trying to figure everyone out, trying to figure if they're authentic. You know what I'm saying? See if that exchange is authentic. We're all sitting in this plastic bubble here. But it was refreshing for me to actually have that moment with him. And I'm like, wow, he had to remind me. I totally had forgot. Totally forgot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Slash says there's so many categories to categorize friends, neighbors, schoolmates, church members, former teammates, and workers. Yeah, there's all kinds of different categories of friends, and different friendships are not the same level of friendships.
Exactly. And that's why, like in today's climate, you got to be careful about who you actually even bringing friends around your wife or your partner. You got to make sure that everyone shouldn't enter your vortex because everyone that calls you a friend, they're definitely not your friend.
Yeah,
So you got to be mindful of who you bring around you, anything into your space, into your home these days. You never know what's going on with these folks
yeah.
because everybody got something going on.
Well, I call you have friends, then you have acquaintances, and then you have associates.
Right,
That's the way I put it. Like the friends have either been to your home or they invited you to their home, or
right,
you've gone out together in intimate situations where not just anybody would be invited.
right,
And then you have like acquaintances. I consider like coworkers acquaintances. I know them, but I don't really know them. And then the associates who like revolve in the same social circle as you do, but you don't really know who they are.
right.
Like you know them at a glance.
Like, you see this all on social media a ton of times. I know I see it a ton of times where people on my friends list, there you go, friends list, they're always talking about circle, keeping circle small and keeping all this other stuff. But you really don't have to keep a circle small when you know the people that surround
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you. You just have to be mindful of who around you.
yeah. The
You just have
vast
to be
the
very
vast
mindful.
majority of the vast majority of friends on my friends list I've met in person. There are some that I haven't, but they're all from various mom groups I've been in, and some of
Right,
them I probably know more about them than some
right,
other people because we've talked about all the nitty gritty mom stuff like breastfeeding and baby carrying and all this stuff together.
right, right, right.
And now our kids play together online, so
Yeah, we just got to be mindful of that type of stuff, man. When
yeah.
you see this stuff, I see these people talk about this all the time, and always having issues with folks and all that stuff. But sometimes you have to think about it, right? The issues that people have with one another today, they don't get to know one another. They go
Mm-hmm.
into these microwave relationships, friendships. I'm not talking about romantic stuff. I'm talking about friendships. Just all of a sudden, you want to call a person your bestie. Nigga, I don't even know you. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And
yeah.
that's not me being rude. That's just me being honest. Like I can't call you a best friend after a week. Okay, we
Yeah.
had a great week of hanging out. That's it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
go home.
Yeah. Like I have good friends here in the U.S. who know that my besties are back in Canada, and they will never be
There you go.
replaced
There you
because
go.
those are my besties. Even though I don't get to see them all the time, I still talk to them. We share memes now instead of phone calls, but
Exactly.
it's
And even
it's
including with this, I just I'd be reluctant if I didn't say it. But this when the incident happened with me, right?
mhm,
I see people with a totally different lens. Even those who were some family members, as well as friends, you got to lump everybody in that same bucket
yeah,
because you just never know until tragedy strikes, right?
mhm,
Now, I've been friends with a whole bunch of people, a ton of years, didn't check in not one time,
mhm,
not one time. You know what I'm saying? I look at people with a complete different lens. I have a different set of lenses for people like that. I'm like,
yeah,
wow, okay, now I see where you're coming from. And these are people I've done things for,
mhm,
everything. You got to be mindful that got to be mindful when you're calling people friends.
mhm.
Go
So,
ahead.
so a couple comments. Kathy says, I believe once we mature, we have less friends. I have three friends where we have gone months without talking
Totally
due
agree,
to
Kath.
life, work, family, etc. When we're together, we pick up the conversation where we left it. Yeah, I think
Totally.
we have more I think we have more associates than friends. I believe people use that last word loosely. and we must be more careful with titles. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm very
Absolutely.
careful with who I call friend.
You
Um,
have to be, man, because the thing about it, and I parent here for a second. I had a conversation with one of my good friends. Me and this guy done traveled the world together, and I had to have a very authentic conversation with him, right?
right.
So I started changing up on him a little bit, and I had to tell him, like I care about him that much to tell him, you dropped the ball.
Yeah.
He said, "What do you mean you dropped the ball?" I became paralyzed. You dropped the ball.
Mm,
Not one time did you check. He and his
right.
wife showed up to the rehabilitation center one time, but everything that he and I have gone through and everything that we've experienced throughout our life,
Right.
I was expecting a little more out of him. But I had to tell him, I was like, yo, you dropped the ball.
Mm,
I said, this is why I'm a little distant. You dropped the ball. I still to this day, he's still one of my best friends, but I had to tell him. And if I didn't tell him, I wouldn't call myself a good friend.
yeah.
I had to tell him where he dropped the ball. Now, if you can't tell your friend he or she dropped the ball, that's truly not your friend. Truly not
Mm,
your friend.
right.
But sometimes you have to when you have these friends of all these years, and if one person maybe he did it without even thinking, maybe he was going through something at that time, but I had to bring it to his attention, and we got over that and dealt with it, and that was
Yeah.
it. We're back to cussing each other out. But you have to when you're dealing with friends, man, it shouldn't be no type of conversation should be uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Wouldn't you agree?
I agree fully. And talk about that. I remember my one of my good friends came out to me, and we were walking across the parade square. And I was like, "Hey,
Right.
what about that guy you were seeing?" And she's like, "I'm gay." I'm like, "Okay, you got a girlfriend?" And we just carried on the conversation. And
Exactly.
it was only a couple weeks ago. I said, "You know what? I need to apologize. When you came out, I was not very
Sensitive.
observant on how difficult that was for you." And she just started laughing. She's like, "No, you know, it's interesting how." Um, I don't know. My friendship, the people that are close to me know that I
Right.
can be a little quirky at times,
Exactly.
and
Here's the
but
thing
they
that
know I got their backs.
this is gonna surprise a lot of folks. So when I took on a challenge when Shan told me I don't think you can get an ex girlfriend to do the show, I'm like okay. But when I called her, I was kind of reluctant at first because I didn't know I couldn't remember with the condition. I couldn't remember how the relationship ended, right? So
Oh, is that
I was like,
when
wait a
you
minute.
found out I ghosted you?
Yeah, I'm like, wait. I was like, damn, I done put my foot in my mouth. Now I gotta go through with this. I gotta call and see what's up. So as we talk, it's like she agreed to do the show before me asking her what happened with us. Because I
Yeah,
honestly wanted to know because I didn't remember. And so she jogged my memory and she told me what happened. And we went on about our business. She was like, what
yeah,
time? Oh, okay, what's the first? Okay, cool. I'll see you then.
yeah,
And that was it. But that goes to show you the level of friendship that we have one another.
yeah.
It's always been a cool relationship, always.
But here's the thing: although I do hold grudges if you wrong me, I don't hold grudges if somebody comes back to me authentically.
Right, 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 right,
Right?
right,
So I've had people who wronged me and come back and they listen. I'm sorry. I'm like, all right, we're cool. Thank you,
right,
and we've
right,
moved
right.
on. But I didn't see a problem with it.
But
It's
ladies and
interesting.
gentlemen, come to find out, with my condition, you guys should feel sorry. Where's the violins? Where's the violins
Mm.
right now?
Oh,
So
here, the
to
tiny one.
find out in my moment of tragedy, to find out she ghosts me. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, what? She was like, I ghost you. I'm like, what? The nerve. But no, but I mean, we
What are
move,
you
we
talking
move.
about?
Go ahead. What you say?
Nerve. The nerve. Oh my God! Like you are an angel. What are we talking? Please. That was karma coming back for you.
Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Look like we got a couple of comments.
Yeah. Slash has an interesting comment. He goes, sent out the newest season to Sex/Life. Has anybody watching on Netflix? There's buku weird dynamics between friends, situationship, friendships, and marriage is shown. I have not seen that, but I will take a look at that, sir.
What is it called?
Uh,
What is it called?
Sex/Life, he says.
I might have to take a
I
look
will
at it.
pull
I
it up
haven't.
on my Netflix and take a look. Demetrion Odom says, hello, everybody. Hello, sir.
What's up, D? What's up, D? I see you. I see you.
And then Slash says, you've got something to homie boo. I don't know. Hashtag boo. What's that mean?
I don't see it. I don't see
I
it.
need a Flash translation. I don't. Okay. Yeah. So here's the thing. Friendships are. People sometimes put a lot of faith in friends when things go bad.
Right.
Like for instance, in a marriage, if somebody cheats, the friends will split.
Right.
They will. Some will choose sides, and then if you have people who don't choose sides, those are not your friends.
Hey, I'm getting a private message here.
Oh, what's that?
You're gonna have to help me out with this one because you probably would know better than I do. So, question comes in from a viewer: did she ghost you before or after the sweat dried? Like we were in a
It
relationship.
was
I
like
wouldn't
9 months
say.
later, man.
Yeah, it was like
Months and months and months.
yeah, it was down the line. So no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't like that at all. But yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, it takes a while to get there with me. So
Right.
yeah,
So nah, I mean the relationship was a wonderful relationship, but
but I ghosted you. Yep, I was moving on. Sorry, sir.
knock it
What can
off.
I say? I don't know what the reason was at the time. I can't remember, but it is what it is.
There it
Life
is.
has
There
moved
it is.
on. Everything happens for a reason.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Good stuff. Good stuff. But like I was saying, when you talk about friendships, right? Like if we take the time to get to know one another in a friendship, we
Hmm.
take the time, we wouldn't have all these bumps in the road. Like for me, I'm very guarded. You know that. I'm very guarded. I'm just not gonna allow a new person into my life and give them access to me right away.
Yeah,
Some family members don't even have access to me. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Just keep it real. Some family members don't even have access to me. But because I'm mindful of who's around me, I'm mindful of what energy people are bringing in, especially now.
yeah,
I just don't take on any type of energy. And the moment I see negative energy, I'm out of there. I'm locking
yeah.
doors and
Hmm.
windows.
Yeah. Well, it's a good idea to protect your energy, because
Exactly.
if you surround yourself with friends who are just bringing negativity, it's just going to bring negativity to you. I
That's
always
right.
tell you, you are the five people that you surround yourself with. So if you
Absolutely.
surround yourself with positive go getters, you're going to be forced to be a go getter. Really, it's because they're going to be asking you, "What are you doing next?" What That's going to be the type of questions you're asking, right?
Exactly.
Kathy says ghosted. That happened, and then she said that happened in my life. His friends stayed with him, and their wives with me. Yeah. So it's friendships are interesting as they develop, because eventually long-time friendship just could just become like that person is just there.
Right.
There's the work that required to get them there doesn't exist anymore, because they've been there for so long. They're just friends. You know them and they know you, and we
Yes, I
all know
don't.
how this works.
That's one thing I don't believe in, D. I got to be honest with you. I don't believe in that whole longevity thing because, hey, man, if we've hit a bump in the road and we can't talk about it, if we can't talk about it as friends, I'm out of here. I'm gonna let you know exactly what's up with me. You won't even have to guess. I'm not gonna harbor feelings or hide feelings. Nah, I'm gonna let you know that you wronged me, and we're gonna get down to the meat and potatoes of it. Then move on if we can move on from it.
Yeah, but your
But
good friends would already know that. That would be the expectation and the reality of that friendship. Every
right,
friendship has a set of boundaries and standards and
right,
things that have been set forth. They may be unspoken, but they've been agreed to over the years.
right.
You know what I mean?
And
So
and the
everyone's
only reason,
different.
and honestly, the only reason I keep Michael around, I tell him every year for his birthday, I renew his subscription, his friendship subscription, right? I said this. He said, "What you give me for my birthday?" I said, "Not a damn thing. I'm renewing your friendship." So, so he has an
That's not
ongoing
very.
friendship subscription with me. I'm like, "Hey,
That's
I'm,
not
I'm
very
renewing it
nice.
this year, so you better be lucky."
That's not nice at all, sir.
I know it's not, but he's known me to be an asshole to him for decades upon decades, and
Slash,
besides,
why
he
do you
knows where
stick
the
with
bodies
that?
are buried. So I
No,
got to keep
no,
him around for
that's
that.
mm. Slash says suddenly background music is Nelly with the something on or the band-aid on. Hashtag it's all hot in here. Yeah. So
What he say?
yeah, here's a slash. It says the background music is now Nelly with the band-aid on. Real one and friendship don't choose sides because there's three sides to every story. I say that to say this. A wise man knows he knows nothing at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but here's the thing: if you in a situation where you know somebody has been lying to their spouse and have been fooling around behind them, and you know that for a fact, there's not three sides to that.
Wait a minute. Wait. What's that?
That's,
Now
that's, that's
let's
where
get
I'm
into the
going
meat.
with.
There she go with this BS, folks. D's on that coaching BS today. I thought we was gonna have some gumbo
Okay.
talk without the coaching, but
I'm I'm just saying because he said there's three sides to every story, but in some
I give
cases,
you guys. I'll be a little transparent here tonight, right? So Michael, this is how long Michael's been around. Michael was around before Taylor was born. Taylor's
mhm,
my oldest daughter. Taylor's bopping on 30. But here we go. So we went out to LA. We had a place out in LA where we stayed as a group. And, I left Deidre at home. And when
mhm.
everybody know that story from the Forstman book, I married and I went back to LA the next day. But anyway, so Michael was privy of the stuff that was going on, right?
I
And,
wasn't
all
even
the,
talking about the two of you in that conversation that I just mentioned. I wasn't referring to the two. That's some guilt coming through there,
you know
sir.
what? You know too much about me, D. Let me
That's some
shut up
guilt.
because
Mm.
D know too much about. Wait,
I was I
that's
was
why I
I'm
thought you
like,
was going.
what?
I said, well, let me head her off right now and say it. Let me just talk
No,
about it.
I wasn't talking about you at all. I was headed towards discussing what I call Switzerland friends, people
Go ahead.
who
Well,
take me.
you go ahead. You coach a little bit. I'll just sit on the side.
Well, let me. So what I was referring to. So, for instance, when Slash had mentioned the three sides. So, if in one instance where somebody I was speaking with, their husband actually went out with the husband and the other woman for dinner,
Right.
right? She was vicious when she found out that her husband did this
Mm-hmm.
because the husband was actually friends with the wife, not the guy that was cheating,
Oh. Oh.
and
Okay.
she was mad because she said you don't do that to your friends, right? So the
Oh.
wife, yeah. So in that case, and then he tried to be a Switzerland friend. He tried to play neutral, and he said,
Right.
"I
Right.
can't choose sides." I'm like, "Sir, you went out with him and the other woman. You already chose the side,
Right. Well,
right?" So
honestly,
there's
what Michael, Mike. He's still a wonderful friend. We still get into it and whatnot, but that's my boy. But I might as well let the cat out the bag now. So I thought D was gonna put me out there. I was gonna put it out there first.
I was trying to protect the two of you. You were putting yourself out there, and now
So,
Slash is saying, "Not your business is not just a menu at Taco Bell." So I'm sorry,
so,
Slash. I tried, sir. I tried,
so
but he's ready to
right.
throw you
So
all the bush.
I thought I just gotta be transparent. That's what the conversation about.
Mhm,
So Michael was very conflicted on should he say something to Deidre, right?
mhm,
And because Michael and I, that's like my road dog. It's like he was on the road with me. I mean, we've hotel after hotel, city
yeah.
after city. That was my guy, and he was kind of conflicted. But as I I grew into myself and became a man, and I was like, wow, I really put him in a bad spot because
Mhm,
I introduced him to my then wife, and you know we all hung out together. I was really putting him in a bad spot
right.
because every time we come in town, he would have to look at her. I was like, wow, I really put him in a bad spot. But when I was doing that dirt, I didn't think about that. But we have to be mindful, man. We put placing our friends in those type of situations. Because I actually, to be honest with you, him not actually showing up in the friendship for a couple of months, he really owed me that one. Well, actually, I
Mm-hmm.
owed him that one
Yeah.
because I put him in uncompromised. I placed him in uncompromising situations throughout our friendship. So yeah, I get it. But go ahead.
Yeah. Well, we have some comments. Miss Tammy Gator says it's difficult for people, friends, to maintain or keep a friendship going when only one of them is growing. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but it's difficult. Yeah. And
That's
Slash says
true.
in the words of Fred Sanford, you don't know, want to know. Yeah.
But that's
Um,
but that's true though. What Tammy? Let me piggyback off of what Tammy's saying. That's true, man. Because you find yourself in these situations where the friendship is actually stagnant. Once
yeah.
you're growing and you get into that higher level of yourself, you're gonna start looking foreign to these people,
Yeah.
including family members. You're gonna start looking very foreign. But it's
You can
not
outgrow,
you, it's them.
yeah. You can outgrow people,
Yeah.
whether it's a
All the
friend,
time.
acquaintance, a business relationship, a marriage. You can outgrow people, and I think
All
we
the
have to
time.
normalize walking away from what does
But
not
here's the
serve us.
thing though. When you outgrow, the person who's actually doing the growing gonna see it before the person who's stagnant.
Hmm.
The person who's doing the growing, that's their responsibility to have that conversation with that person.
Yeah.
Give them the right of way to say, hey, you know what? The friendship has actually run its course.
Yeah.
If you're growing before that other person is stagnant, at least give them you have to give them the right of way to say, hey, listen, this is not working out for me.
Yeah. Slash says, "Ayo, Mr. Epic, if it happened in Vegas, what happened there stays there."
It's in too
I
many
don't know,
books,
Slash.
man.
He gonna. I bet he would rat you out in a second if I had a conversation with him behind closed doors. He would tell me all of it, throw you right under the bus. But
Exactly.
I
Nah, I
don't.
thought I thought Dee was gonna throw me under the bus on that, so I was trying to get ahead of the ball, but apparently she wasn't even talking about that.
No, I would. I normally would try to protect my friends. I wouldn't out you like that unless you asked me to.
Right, right,
But yeah, but friendship is interesting because we have so many different levels of friendship and so many different types of friendship that
right.
as we grow and age, our friendships change. So we have friends who we've been friends with for a long time, and we
Very long time.
grow older together. We have like go through births and deaths and marriages and
Right.
divorce and business loss, all that together. And those are very deep friendships. And I
That's
think
true.
those are the friendships that are hardest if something goes wrong. It's
Right.
almost like losing a spouse.
I agree. I can agree
So
with that.
that's why I tell people nurture the friendships that you value because you could
Exactly.
lose them.
So here's the thing, though. Let's piggyback off of what Tammy talked about, right?
Hmm.
What suggestions would you give to a person who's actually outgrowing that friendship? How soon do you have that conversation with the person who's actually stagnant? And what do
Just
you say?
talk.
Some of the careful, like you say, you have to use careful words when you're
Yeah,
dealing with folks like that.
just tell them that you're going on two different paths in life, and just be honest with them. It doesn't
Right.
have to be a difficult conversation. We make it more difficult than we need to most of the time,
Right.
right?
I agree.
Because people lose and gain friends all throughout their lives.
Yeah, just because, and I have to say this, just because things didn't work out in a friendship, you don't have to become enemies. You do
Yeah,
not have to become enemies. It's called growth. Hey, didn't work out. I don't like you as a friend.
yeah.
We could be acquaintance, but I'm gonna have to downgrade you.
And most of the time, they probably stay in the associate level anyway because they probably still be in the same social circles,
Exactly.
right? So
Exactly.
Slash says, "I'm from the old school. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Reading is subjective. They always put a little Hollywood on it. Mm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Depends on
Nah,
if you're
that's good.
hearing it from the horse's mouth. Rumor and gossip I don't listen to, but if somebody is in front of you telling you, or you were there at the scene and watched it happen yourself. That's a little different. So
I've never been one to get into that with, like, if, let's just say, if a friend of mine's wife contacts me or girlfriend contacts me and asks me certain things, I'm saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't inject myself in that. I will not entertain that conversation. And all I would say is, let's just say, if Slash was in that similar situation, if he's in that situation, I'd be like, hey man, you might want to get that straight. I'll
yeah,
pull his coattail. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, talk about that, deal with that.
yeah,
But I wouldn't inject myself into their relationship and
yeah,
their issues. That's something that he has to deal with her, and vice versa. Yeah, I've
yeah,
never believed in sitting around having a conversation. So I'm not gonna be the one to, I'm not gonna be the bearer of bad news. I'm not gonna
yeah.
do it.
I've had situations because I was in the army. And I was the only girl many times where I've had like pick guys up who were walking home drunk. I'm like, listen,
Right.
man, I'll drive you home. And then the wife would come at me. I'm like, man, I have known this man for 15 years. I wouldn't touch him with somebody else's goods.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm like, that's all you. Here, just pour him out of the car. He was drunk. I didn't want him to get hit. Don't got
Exactly.
time for a funeral to this week. You know what I mean? But it's interesting how some people will get very protective because they don't understand the friendship that others have.
I just had this conversation with a friend of mine today, rather. It's my neighbor across the street. I've been knowing this girl for a ton of years, right? And I help her out with her business, all this other stuff, the kids or whatever. My mother knew her, all my brothers knew her, everybody. Everybody was friends with her, right? Still friends with her to this day. But she get these new guys coming around and they get intimidated by an attractive guy living across the street. Hey, brother, I don't want no parts of this woman. So mind your business. But that's up to her to put him in his place. Like,
Right,
don't get weird on me. We've
right,
known
yeah,
each other for 15 years. Don't get weird on me. Just like Dre used to say, hey man, if she's in my stuff, check her. If not, keep it moving.
right. Yeah, but some people get weird about it. Like
I
there are
mean,
people
I'm
who,
telling you, I recently had an experience like that where
yeah,
some the guy was her boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, was jealous of me. I'm like, what are you jealous of me for?
because some people don't understand that people can have platonic relationships with people of the
Exactly.
opposite sex because they're unable to do it. They don't think anybody else can do it.
Exactly. I couldn't date this woman for nothing in the world. Matter of fact, she witnessed the comings and goings out of this house over the years, throughout the years. So that's crazy. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
It's insecurities. So Tammy said, I'm good with people staying who they are if they're good with me growing. But my experience is that eventually it becomes an issue. Bright lights blind people. Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love that. Bright lights blind people.
Yeah. Bright lights blind people. Never dim your light for anyone.
I like that. Bright lights
Yeah.
blind people. That's a
Mm-hmm.
nugget. It's a
Yeah.
butterfly nugget. Good stuff.
Slash says you gotta stay out of the tall grass and deep blue water. Pillow talks for a small private party with only two co-stars. Thought you were gonna run
Absolutely.
into like a TLC song there for a second, sir.
But that's true though. Pillow talk is for two parties. But
Mm-hmm.
you get some people want to interject people into their situations. I've
Yeah.
had friends over the years. I'm not gonna say friends, say brothers. I'm not gonna say friends, I'm say brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And inject me into this situation. Like, hey man, wait a minute. But I see he inject me because he want me to lie for him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man, don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But brother being a brother, you gotta go down that road with him.
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta go
and
sometimes you gotta
I've
go
been
down that rabbit hole with your brother. So
listen, man. I've been in the mess, and the boys will pull out a map and throw their wedding bands on it and call it the safety circle. And I'm like, oh, y'all want to play safety circle? I'm gonna play foo and call in the reinforcements and tell them where you're shooting.
wow.
because
You wouldn't do
I
that
don't
though, right?
condone it. What?
You wouldn't do that though, right?
Oh yes, I would. I don't condone that. Don't condone cheating. Never have. Never will.
Wait.
And don't expect
So
me to cover it up. I will never cover up anybody cheating. Never.
I
And
get it.
my
I get
friends
it. I
know
get it.
that. Yeah.
So wait a minute. So would you volunteer the information?
Oh hell yeah! And they know not to do it in front of me. I've told them. I say if I see any of you take anybody home, don't let
Well,
me tell
at
see
least
your
you're
wife
admitting
when I
that you're
get
a
home.
snitch. At least you're
Hmm?
admitting that you're snitching.
I'm not a snitch because what happens is when they do that, it disrupts the entire trust of the team. Because
Right.
now the
I
team
get
can't
it.
trust anybody because they can't trust that they won't stay loyal to their wife. Why
I
would they
get it.
stay loyal to them?
I get it. These
Right?
comments are thick tonight, huh?
Yeah. Tammy says, great night, great people. Tammy, Coach D, check your inbox after the show. Okay. And Slash says, one thing I've come to learn, bank robbers hang with bank robbers because there's a honor among thieves. Yeah, you're right.
That's true. That's
There
so
is.
true. That's so true. That's true.
Now, Slash, you used to hang with Mr. Epic, so what does that say about you, sir?
But honestly,
Since we're throwing people on their bus tonight. Vroom, vroom.
it wasn't that kind of party though. See, here's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
I also had a conversation with Tammy earlier
right,
about Arthur Trent Williams and Romello and all this other stuff. And she knows, just like different versions of me, right?
right.
And just like Slash knows different versions of me. Slash know the sensitive side of Romello. He really does. Like, he knows that I wasn't thick like that, but I
Yeah.
ran him, but I had tact with it. You know what I'm saying? I done
Mhm.
everything with class. I was very gentlemanly about it. I never embarrassed women or call them out their names or
Mhm.
anything like that. I just happened to deal with a whole bunch of them, but I dealt with them in a very, very gentlemanly way.
You were
That's
a
the
classy
version that
dog.
Slash knows. Go ahead, what you
You're
say?
a classy dog, is what you're telling us.
You know what? After that conversation with Tammy earlier today, I had to had to think about that for a second. And actually, I think I got it, Tammy. I was a classy dog.
Hmm.
I was a classy dog because people don't. I give people different versions of me.
Hmm.
I don't give them. They get multiple versions of me.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? So I don't open up to everyone.
right.
You got to keep some doors locked.
Yeah, I get it.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah, I get it. Oh yeah, definitely.
So I'm only vulnerable around people I'm very comfortable with.
Yeah.
So I would agree. So there's a handful that really know me, like you, Tammy, and couple
We all
couple of
know.
people,
We know where the bodies are buried, so to speak.
pretty much. So
Yeah, I have the same
I
thing. I
got,
have a close group of
ladies
friends
and
who
gentlemen,
say,
this is why I keep these ladies very close to me because they know exactly where the bodies are. They know exactly where the bodies are.
"Oh,
Good stuff. Good stuff. Any more comments?
no, we're caught up with the comments right now."
Good stuff,
Yeah,
man. Good stuff.
but here's the thing. It's interesting because so many people get caught up in mess that they
Right.
don't understand a lot of time what authentic friendship can look like.
Right.
And here's the thing is, unfortunately, some men are better friends with other men than they are with women.
That's kind of different for me.
Mm.
Now, can you repeat that again?
I said some men are better friends with men than they are with women.
That's the total opposite for me. I'm better friends with women than men.
Yeah,
I'm
and
definitely better friends with women than men.
Slash says, I'm immune to being thrown under any bus. If Mr. Epic asked me to meet him on the moon, I'm not going to question him. I'm just going to bring some Ritz crackers. Ritz crackers? You get
Because
some
we're going
fancy
for the cheese,
crackers.
baby. We're going for the cheese.
Lordy. Yeah. So it's interesting because um, how we cultivate our friendships, um,
Right.
and it does go back to how we were raised. Like for some of us, it's harder. Like I grew up in a very strict home, so I wasn't allowed to date or go to like sleepovers at all. I didn't
Right.
date until I was in college, and even then we snuck around. So it's sorry, Xavier sent me a message on my phone, on my computer. This is what happens when you have Gen Alpha kids. They find out ways to communicate with you when you're not able to communicate with them. Now
Hey,
we
at
get
least he's
messages to my laptop.
well, he knows what time it is. So hey, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That's
he's good.
pretty good.
No. But yeah,
Good stuff.
it's interesting to watch and to think about back about relate our friendships over the years.
Right.
Like I don't know, last month or a month ago, I was asking one of my good friends, I'm like, why does your brother not like me? I never figured this out. Why we've known each other for what, 3 decades, and your brother's never liked me. He goes, oh yeah, he always asks about you. I'm like, what, really?
Wow.
I'm like, even though years ago it didn't seem like he liked me at all, he still asked to make sure that I'm doing okay because I'm his sister's good friend. And it's interesting how, as we get older, our views of people change.
Right. That's true.
Uh, Yeah, but it's friendship. I love having friends that you can just be yourself with. That you don't have to worry about what you say or what you wear or what you're doing.
That's the best friends that man. To me, the best friends are those who I don't have to put on airs with Tammy. I don't have to put on airs with you. I don't have
Yeah,
to because y'all know I come with a whole bunch of shit already. I don't have to
yeah,
put on airs with Slash. I don't have to do it.
yeah,
I don't have to because y'all know I come with some shit already.
yeah. I
You know,
was
and it's like I had a conversation with Tammy. She said she was checking us out a couple of weeks ago,
mhm.
and she said something. I just had to chuckle at it. Right? She was like, "Oh my God, you are so self-centered." She said, "So," she said, "But," she said, "I know you.
Mhm.
I know your heart, just like you. That's
Yeah,
why folks tell me all the time. They tell me all the time. I know Coach D calls you an asshole all the time. They probably do, but she know
yeah.
me.
I'm sure people see me roll my eyes or give you a dirty look, but yeah. But
But
I know who you are. So you may say something, I'll be like, oh my god, not again. But still,
exactly, and that's the
but
best type of friendships,
yeah,
man. Just like when she said, she's like, "Oh, you're so self-centered and asshole," but I know your heart.
yeah.
That made me feel so good because sometimes I know I piss you off. I know I do.
Oh yeah, because I what is it? One time I said, how do you walk through a door with that big an ego? You know what I mean? But sometimes our friends keep us humble. That's
But,
what
but
our job does.
exactly. But here's the thing, though, right? What folks really don't know, this is truly me because even at my lowest point, you've seen me at some of my
Hmm.
lowest point,
Yeah.
but I was still that same guy.
Oh yeah.
I was still that same guy. So there's nothing's changed. Or like someone told me the other day, I was like, "Oh, your head's in the clouds now. You're back. You're back to doing what you love." I was like, "Nah, it's not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all." And that told me right there, she really don't know me like that.
Yeah.
She really like, why would you even say that? Like, if you knew me, you wouldn't be saying that.
Yeah.
Because even at my lowest point, I'm still that guy.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. You haven't changed over the years, although you have grown, so you're not as much of an asshole sometimes. But you know, but even I even said, what was it, a couple of weeks ago? I was just like, really, really, do we need to have that conversation?
Exactly.
So,
And you
yeah,
know what? The best friends are those who actually can put you in check and smile about it in the morning. Like, okay,
yeah,
come on, let's go get some coffee. Let's go get some tea. But I'm gonna
yeah,
tell you about your ass.
yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I sent her a TikTok video, and she's like, "That's us." And it was a video of a guy. They were coming back from the house, and they were drunk, and the guy
Right,
fell over into the bushes, and the friend was lying on the ground laughing, and then picked him up. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I would laugh first and then pick you up." She's like, "I do the
right.
same thing, because that's what we do."
Exactly. That's good stuff. So I said, well, we don't have no teachable moment. This a gumbo talk here, so we're not doing a teachable moment, but we can if you want to.
A teachable moment.
But I don't have anything for him tonight, to be honest with you. I don't have anything.
I do. Good friends are hard to find. If you are blessed with friends that stay throughout your lifetime, through the good, the bad, cherish those people because those are special people. Those are your people who've been there all through your life, and they will be the ones that will carry you to your final resting place.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And honestly, thinking about that, as I reflect back, as you were saying that, thinking about my relationship with Slash, right?
Yeah.
When I told Slash my intentions during the podcast, I was still in the wheelchair.
Hmm.
And he never once said you can't do it.
Right.
All he said was, I got you, B. Just
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
So as we started building this thing and looking at different equipment and all that stuff. So I get the equipment and all that stuff, and I'm like, damn, how am I gonna put this stuff together? I text him. He said, I'll be over. I said, okay, cool. And he put everything together for me from the microphone. The way he put it in, the way he installed all this stuff is exactly how it is right now.
Yeah.
From the computer to everything. But he was willing to ride with me.
Hmm.
He was willing to ride, no questions asked. No, man, I don't think you're ready for it. I don't think
Yeah.
you're healthy enough. He's like, hey, I got you, B.
Yeah. That's the same thing when you called me asking me if I do the podcast. I was like, when?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever, man.
And no, exactly. Knowing the situation, she was like, hey, all right. You didn't even you didn't question it, didn't do anything. You just like, okay. But that's the type of friends you should want around. That's the people you should want around you. The ones that's
Right.
not gonna question you like that when you come to them and say, hey, I got an idea. Or hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah.
Coach D
Because
grabbed the life jacket and then she grabbed an extra one because I was gonna need some help because I still need assistance to swim. She jumped in. She jumped in and she carried an extra life jacket because she knew I was gonna drown a little bit.
that's all right, man. That's what we're here for. We'll keep you going, and we're
Exactly.
now we're
Exactly.
global. Yeah. You're
Exactly. We're
out there
global now,
getting ready
baby.
to
We're
do things
global.
again.
There it is.
You'll
There
be
it is. We're
you'll be
actually global. Good
life
stuff,
is
man.
good.
Life is great. Life is great. Speaking of life is great, Tuesday, I've been invited back. I don't know why she keeps inviting me back, but I'm grateful that she do. Relationship Table Talk, Tuesday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Topic for Relationship Table Talk, sell out to yourself. Sell
Sell out
out
to yourself.
to yourself.
Miss Tammy put a link in there. What's the link for, Miss Tammy? Is that your Facebook page?
Probably, maybe the show or something like that. Probably.
Okay.
What is an invite or something?
I don't know. I'll find out shortly. Oops. Oh my god. It's getting late when I can't copy and paste anymore.
It's all good. So
Okay, good.
Tuesday, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, sell out to yourself. Relationship Table Talk. Right here on the
Sounds,
B2G Unity TV. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
sounds interesting. Sell out to yourself.
And, just like, think about it, right? When we
Oh, it's
always
a
go
link.
into
It's a
these
link to
situations.
the show.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's a link to the show.
Oh, gotcha. We always go into these relationships selling out for these people and selling out for these different individuals and whatnot.
Hmm.
Sometimes you have to sell out to yourself, man. And once you sell out to yourself, you become the better version of yourself. You're going to
Hmm.
make better choices in life.
Yep. Because your standards are different. So yeah, you have
Absolutely.
boundaries in place. Definitely.
Absolutely. Oh, and also, I'm glad you actually brought Tammy up. It reminds me that she told me that to tell you you're always welcome to jump on over there. She said, she knows you're busy with little man, but if you're available, the door's open.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the invite, Miss Tammy. I a third one. occasionally, maybe I have to check my schedule because the 2 a week are cut into max me out. Plus, I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on now writing, so I don't have a lot of extra time.
Gotcha.
But I got to get that book done.
I didn't want to say nothing, but
I saw the look. You didn't have to say nothing. I saw the look.
It's gonna be a good read, though, man. It's gonna be a real good read.
It will. It will be. So that's why it needs to be done, because people need to read it. So
it's gonna be a real good read. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. It was just one off the cuff, and over here we do this thing called Gumbo Talk. It was a Gumbo Talk type of night tonight for us, and it was something that happened a couple of days ago, talking about friendships, and I thought it needed to be an organic, non-plastic conversation, and off the cuff, nothing scripted or anything like that. Because hey, I don't like my friendships, all my relationships scripted at all. I don't want anything. I don't want anything artificial around me. I like everything organic.
Well, you only ever tell me the titles like a day before, so anyway. To be honest.
That's true. Well, that's true. Now that's some serious organic shit for your ass right there. Well, folks, she's telling the truth. Like a day before, sometimes a day of. Depends on.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that's
why everything seems so authentic, because there's no pre-planning or pre-discussion.
Yeah, no pre-discussion, no rehearsed stuff, man. I think that's so generic if it has to be rehearsed. You know what I'm saying? It's
good idea, Slash. He said this is the right side of friends, but then there's something else. The dark side to friends, part 2. We can discuss that.
That's true.
The dark side of friendship.
We talk about that on Wednesday. That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool. Definitely cool.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that. We'll get
dark
to
side of friendship
discussions. Yes.
You're going to get a lot of people pissed off at you, D. I know you. I see you. I see you actually shake. I see you actually waiting for it already.
You know, people get mad at me all the time. And
it'll be all right.
You know, sometimes I will tell them that, well, you know, a hit dog hollers. So if you're defensive about what I've said, then take a look inside and see what it is about you that my comments are making you upset.
Absolutely. Yep. So we're going to get out of here, folks. Again, I'll be over on Tabby's side of the things with the B2G Unity TV on the Roku stick, broadcasting internationally. Good stuff here. So I'll be over there, Relationship Table Talk. Sell out to yourself. It's going to be a wonderful time and looking forward to it. But until Wednesday, we'll come back with the dark side of friendships.
All right. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have a great night.
Absolutely.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.